Hi everyone, my name is Becca. Welcome back to my channel, and today I am here with my March wrap-up. We're getting to the middle of April and I still have yet to make this video. What else is new? It's still a struggle for me to make wrap-ups. I've tried to make them better and I still somehow manage not to make them until much later, and here we are struggling to remember what I read. Thankfully, I write it all down, so that's not bad, but still. And March was a struggle in itself. The first half of the month was pretty good, but the second half of the month was really, really bad for the economy, for the world, you know, the pandemic, as well as, like, my mental health. Just everything was really bad at the end of March. My mental health just declined rapidly. My depression and anxiety and stress levels were just bad. Like, what can I say? They were just bad. So I didn't read as much as I wanted to. I had really big books on my plate for March, and I didn't get through a whole lot. I read a total of 8 books in March. It came out to be a total of 4,588 pages, which I don't feel is bad because I did read some pretty big books. My average rating for the month was 4.13, which is pretty good. I had 2 3 stars, 3 4 stars, and 3 5 stars. So all in all, I did a good job. I'm happy with that. I read books that I enjoyed for the most part. The 3-star books were like low 3 stars, but were still somewhat enjoyable. So that's why they weren't bad books or anything, just not really for me. For the books that I sort, or for how I source the books, there was 2 e-arcs, 2 books on my physical TBR from before 2020, so books that I didn't haul. And then 3 were books that I hauled in 2020 for my physical TBR, and then a 1 library book. So, not bad. I was pretty happy with, you know, what I read and where I sourced everything. I did read a couple of the books that I had on my TBR, but that was mostly, what's it called? One was from a series that I had already started and is trying to get through. And one was a 2019, or Booktuber's favorite books of 2019. I did read 2 of those. The one was from the library and one was from my existing TBR, which is pretty good. So let's get into the books. Alright, so like I do this, like I've been doing this for the last couple months, I will rank from my least favorite books all the way to my favorite book. So we'll start at the book that I disliked the most, or just liked the least. And that is actually, can you guess it? I mean, I believe the last few months have been the same thing. My least favorite book would be an e-arc. And this month, it's The New Guy by Catherine Freeman. I hate requesting books that I'm not liking. And I don't request them thinking I won't like them. I do think I'm going to like them, but for some reason, I'm just not enjoying everything that I'm reading. But it's not always true. I do have some that I really enjoy, so it just, of course, this month, my least favorite book was an e-arc again. The New Guy by Catherine Freeman. It's been a long time since I read this, so forgive me, but I remember no names. But I remember this started off with our 2 main characters meeting in a bar. One main character is going through a lot of grief. She just lost her grandfather, and she meets this guy and they decide to go back home and have a one-night stand. And then after that, they go their separate ways. She goes to work because she owns an app company, or she owns a company and they develop apps, and she ends up meeting this newest hire, which is him, and he's the software developer for her new app. And that, of course, drama ensues. she's trying to get this app up because the rival company is also doing an app similar or something like that, and the one who's leading that company is her ex-boyfriend. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this right. But of course there's drama because they slept together and now they have to work together. And there's just a lot of back and forth, you know, a lot of, not really miscommunication, but they just don't know how to communicate together. And it was just a struggle at times. For the most part, this book was going to be like a 2-star, maybe a 2.5. I just wasn't really enjoying them together, and that's really what I wanted. That was the ultimate goal for this. And then, well, by the end, it got better, which is why I bumped it up to a 3-star, because I did enjoy the end. So I felt it was fine. It was okay. This book was alright, but I would never read it again. And I am still really appreciative that I was accepted for this copy. And I'm appreciative for all of the books that I'm accepted for, even if I don't like them. I just feel bad that I have to rate them really low because I'm not liking them. But again, that's not always the case. I did just read a book recently, an e-arc that I absolutely loved. And we'll talk about that in my April wrap-up. But, yeah. Just what can you do, you know? Alright, after that, the only other 3-star book I have is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. Arpan. This, I would have thought, would have been a 5-star book from what everybody has been raving about it. And I know, like, a lot of people just love this book and were so emotional over this book. And I thought I was going to be too. I'm a very emotional person. I will cry at the drop of a hat. I can cry like any movie, any book, any scene. It doesn't matter. Like, it could be happy, sad, just have an impact. I'm crying my eyes out. Like, I always say, like, if I don't cry for something, like, it might be that I'm just not feeling anything. And that will, oh my, I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of texts right now. Oh my god. My friends just don't know how to shut up. Oh my god. But yeah, so if I feel like I'm not emotional over something, then I'm not really feeling anything, and that has a negative impact on me. It's not always the case. There are times where I won't cry or anything. I'm just not feeling as emotional, but I'm still really enjoying it. I can't give you an example, but I know there's been a time. This one, I wasn't emotional. I felt bad. So this one we follow Lee, and her mother, she just lost her mother to suicide. And Lee has these reoccurring dreams that her mother's been reincarnated as a bird. Her mother is of Asian descent, and Lee ends up going to meet her maternal grandparents in Taiwan. She's never met them before, so this is her first time meeting them. And she wants to get to know more about her mom, but she also feels like she really needs to, I don't know, like, help her mom, save her mom. Her mom's this bird that I really don't understand most of it. I just know that Lee is having a hard time grieving, and that's, of course, understandable. She's having a hard time dealing with her grief, which is understandable. And, like, again, she sees this bird, and she believes this bird is her mother, and she ends up getting this box, and through this box is able to see all these different memories, that are not only her own. She's memories of her mom, memories of other people, and it was an adventure. It was a journey, and I liked certain aspects of this book. I did like certain, like, those memory scenes. Yeah, it was definitely, like, you had to suspend your disbelief and everything. Like, you had to definitely just be a part of it, because this is definitely magical realism. And some things, like, you know, how she can see these memories even though they're not her own definitely don't make sense. But if you just go with it, it's a fun ride. I really like seeing those and getting to know characters through those. I liked Lee for the most part. I just didn't really connect a lot with any of the characters, and that it was just, I wasn't emotional. I wasn't really feeling a whole lot. I don't know if it was really because it was hard for me to suspend my disbelief, but like there were times I was just like, what the hell is happening? Like, what is going on? I'm not understanding how this can be happening right now. So, I mean, that really was a struggle. But I could totally see why a lot of people really love this book. This just wasn't for me. And I'm not going to say magical realism isn't for me because I'm going to keep giving it a try. I know there's one other book I definitely want to try. I want to say Anne-Marie Michelmore, right? Anne-Marie Michelmore, she writes a lot of magical realism. And I think like Blanca y Roja, I think was the name of that book, was one I wanted to give a shot, and a couple other of her books. But I haven't really picked those up yet because, again, I was kind of afraid to go into magical realism. And this one wasn't helping much because, again, it was hard for me. I gave this ultimately 3 stars because I did enjoy most of it. There were just parts of it that was just a struggle for me. But it was an enjoyable book overall. So I do recommend it, but just know going in, if you're not comfortable with magical realism and if it's hard for you to suspend your disbelief, then maybe this isn't the book for you. Okay, now we can go into the 4-star books. I get to bring out my handy dandy iPad again. So we have In Bed with the Earl by Christy Caldwell. This is the other e-arc that I read. I gave it 4 stars. I was so happy that I had a 4-star e-arc. Though I will say in the very beginning of this book, I was struggling really hard. I was not enjoying anything that I was reading. I was confused for the most part, not understanding where we were and what I was supposed to know, and who I was supposed to be following, because I just wasn't understanding anything. And I will say, like, I had to put it down. And I don't like DNFing e-arcs when I get them because I feel like I am being accepted for them. Like, I am requesting them. And I feel like it would be really awful of me to just DNF it. The only time I would DNF it is if I'm really not comfortable with, like, the subject matter or not comfortable with what's going on. I will say in April I had a DNF an e-arc for the first time because it had to do ultimately pretty much with cheating. And I'm not comfortable reading books about cheating. I'm just not. It's not my thing. It's a hard pass for me. So when I found out about that, I had to DNF it. And I'll talk more about that in my wrap up. Actually, I talked about it in a video, so you'll have those links in the wrap up. But I know for a fact I have that up. So if you want to go find out what I thought about it now, my April Owls check-ins are up for the first 2 weeks. So this book, In Bed with the Earl, yeah, for the first little bit, it was just hard for me. I wasn't enjoying it, so I just put it down for a little bit, and then, I can't remember, it was over I think it was over Valentine's Day or something. Wait, no, this is March. I can't remember. Oh, no, I think it was, like, an anniversary, because my parents' anniversary is this month, or in the month of March. Maybe St. Patrick's Day, something like that. It was, like, a holiday, I think. Me and my family were all around each other, something like that. So I just picked this book up again because I was pretty bored. My family and I, we had like already done what we were doing, but we were like still deciding something else to do. So that's the time I was bored. I'm not saying I was bored with my family. Me and my family hang out a lot. So like, I was pretty bored for a little bit, so I just decided, why not just pick this up and just give it a couple more chapters and see how I feel. And once we got, because we were following our male main character for the, like, our male love interest, for the most part of the beginning, and then we finally got to our female main character, and that's when things started to make more sense, and I started to enjoy what I was reading. So we follow our female main character, can't remember names. She's a reporter, and she's trying to dig up information on this long-lost Earl that has just recently come back, or has just recently been found. And our Earl doesn't want any information to get out about him. He isn't comfortable with where he is. He really isn't comfortable with the inheritance. And he doesn't really want anybody to know about him at all. And our female main character is a reporter. This is back in the day, London. I want to say Victorian. I could be wrong about that. It's some type of London back in the day. And, what's it called? She is the first female reporter in there. You know, she's the only female reporter in this, paper. And her boss is looking for any reason to get rid of her. So he gives her this pretty much impossible task of digging up information on the long-lost Earl and getting the scoop on him and a story from him. And our female main character will do anything she can to get this because she needs to take care of her and her sister. It's just them, their parents have passed. And she needs to take care of her little sister. So when she finds him, she'll go to any possible means to figure out, you know, the story and everything on him. This is really enjoyable. I really actually like this. I like the romance. I liked the plot. The little sister was really cute. I did enjoy this. Again, for the most part, or for the first little bit, I didn't think I would. So I was really happy when I started to really enjoy it and ultimately gave that 4 stars. Okay, next up, another 4-star. We're at what? Book number 5? So, number 5 on the list is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. This is a thriller about a girl who is completely down on her luck. She has no job, no boyfriend, no home. I believe, like, she's broke. She has no place to live. Like, she's staying with her friend, but that's not, like, long-term or something like that. And she ends up finding this hotel that's willing to pay her to house sit for, I think, a few months. And they're going to pay her a lot of money for that. And then when but there's a lot of rules. They're really strict about things. But she ultimately takes it. But when she starts to house sit or apartment sit or whatever it's called, things start to happen. Like, creepy things start to happen. This was good. I really enjoyed it. I listened to this on audiobook. I enjoyed it for the most part. I won't say like I was really thrilled with the revelation, like the reveal of everything, but I really did enjoy this. I did end up giving this 4 stars. I don't know if it would have been a 5-star if I really enjoyed the reveal. I'm not sure. Maybe it would have been, but I did enjoy this. I really liked the audiobook. I really liked the, like, the creepiness of it. This was my first thriller, pretty much, and I was having a really good time. I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to know what was, because the other, like, apartment sitters were starting to disappear, and I wanted to know what was happening and what was going on, and it was pretty good. Then again, the reveal was just alright. I kind of guessed some things, but I didn't guess everything. But yeah, I just don't know if I'm really thrilled with what was, the cause, well, yeah, kind of the cause of everything, but it was good. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I will definitely be picking up more Riley Sager, I think. Like, this was the only one that I was, like, really looking forward to. The other ones, we'll see, but I definitely will be picking up more thrillers because I'm definitely in the mood for them. Alright, last 4-star, number 4 on the list is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the last hours trilogy series, whatever it's gonna be. And this one follows the children of our protagonists from the Infernal Devices. So we're back in like Victorian era London, and we're just following kids of the people we loved in the Infernal Devices. And I really enjoyed it. I will say this isn't my favorite, like, first book in a series by Cassandra Clare. I will say Lady Midnight did that best. But I really enjoyed the characters. I love James and Lucy. I really enjoyed Cordelia. I hate Grace. I can't stand her. Frickin' passion. I don't think you're really supposed to like Grace. I want to say I remember somebody saying they really enjoyed Grace, and I was just like, what? What? Okay. I hate her. And this is just that there are no demons in London right now. And so all of the kids are training, and, you know, they're doing a lot of training for, like, there's no demons around, so they can't really, practice their training or, like, take it out in the field. But they're still, like, patrolling and things like that. I can't really go into too much because I can't really explain it without, I feel like, without, spoiling things. So I'm not going to. That's pretty much it. You're just following the kids from the Infernal Devices, protagonists, and I just, seeing all of them again, by the way, my Infernal Devices people, I love them. So happy to see them. It was just great. That ending was insane. I was kind of pissed off. Not gonna say why. Just, I definitely need the second book because I need to know what's gonna happen. And I can definitely tell, you know, it's gonna be a really good, like, it's definitely gonna be another pretty much love triangle, or, you know, there's gonna be a lot of angst for the couple that I want together. There's actually a few couples that I would like together, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, 4 stars, really enjoyed it. Number 4. Alright, now on to my 5-star books. We're finally on to 5 stars. Coming at number 3. I was surprised this is at number 3. But when I really thought about it, I realized it was at number 3. And you're gonna know why. So this is House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City Book 1, by Sarah J. Maas. Okay, so the reason this is at number 3 and not number 1 is because of the first couple hundred pages. They were just a struggle. Okay, so the first 50 pages were the worst. It was like the prologue to the actual, like, when the plot really begins. So the first 50 or so pages were just, like, really getting to know the characters and really getting to know the world building more. And then finally, actually it's like 60 pages or so. Once you get to chapter 5, everything gets better. And then the plot really starts to begin. And, like, the first 50 pages were hard. Once you get to chapter 5, like I said, things start to really happen. I'm just really loving that. And then it time jumps. Like chapter 7 or 8 or so. And it was a struggle again. Like, the plot had already begun. I was still really liking the characters. I was really liking, you know, the world building and everything, but it was slow going, slow moving. And it's not until you pretty much get to the 200 or so page mark where things really start to happen. I still ultimately gave it 5 stars because I still really freaking love this book, and I love Bryce and Hunt. They are just so good. But I knew that going in, I was going to love our main character with the fallen angel Hunt. I mean, of course. Rowan and Aelin, Rhys-Ann and Feyre, Hunt and Bryce. I mean, I knew I would love that couple. So, I mean, I still really love this book, but because of the first 200 pages, it wasn't my favorite book of the month. I don't know if it will, like, I'm pretty sure it will make my favorite books of the year. Like, it should, because I really love this book. But we're gonna see how that goes. And I don't know if the first two will make my favorite books of the year. But they're just ones I liked better for the month. But you know how it goes, like, for the year when you start to just forget things. Like, the ones that really stick with you are the ones that are going to be your ultimate favorites. I don't know how my brain works, but, like, even though it's not my favorite of the month, it still will be probably in my favorites of the year, where the first two probably won't. That's just how it goes. But I say that, and then I'll probably end up playing, like, something of those. But these are because of these are for my long-term series, so I don't even know what's going to happen with those. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. 5 stars. I can't tell you much. I can't tell you the plot, because I think you should go into this blind. But this book is gorgeous. The writing is gorgeous. Sarah J. Maas is amazing. Like, she's my queen, so obviously I was going to give that 5 stars. I knew it. I just knew it, and I'm happy. Okay, coming in number 2, we have Lover Unleashed by J.R. Ward. This is the, oh god, I don't even remember what number this is. Oh god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So is this 9? Yes. Yeah, book 9. And this one follows Paige and, oh no, not Paige, Payne and Manny. Payne is a character that you meet in the last couple of books. And Manny is also a character you meet in Vicious and Jane's book. So I really enjoyed their romance. I really enjoyed what was going on with them. It's been a really long time since I read it, because I think this was the first book I read. This one and The New Guy were like the first 2 books I read in the month of March. But I do remember how much I really love Payne and Manny. I remember Payne was paralyzed, and Manny, who's a doctor, had to come in and try and help her walk again, and see if he can, like, undergo surgery on her to see if he can help her walk again, and fight again, because she is a fighter. She is a, you know, she's not a brother, like, from the Brotherhood, but she is a sister, you know, something like that. And I really love this book, ultimately. And again, like, we don't just get the main couple, we get a lot of the other characters and, you know, what they're going through at the moment. And I really ultimately love that. So of course this is 5 stars. I just really love these books. And I hear they go downhill after a certain book. I can't remember what it was, but I'm loving them, so hopefully I will love them throughout all. But we'll see. So yeah, number 2. And then number 1, my biggest book of the year. Or not my, well, actually, it's probably my biggest book of the year, but it's definitely my biggest book of the month, is Styx by Sherilyn Kenyon. This one broke me. This one hurt so bad. I was sobbing through I would say through 80% of this book, I was sobbing. Styx is Asheron's twin brother, and you think you know his story already because you get through Asheron's eyes, and, you know, through other books you get to hear little bits and pieces about him, but mostly in Asheron's book you get to learn more about him. And you think you already know who he is. You think, you know, he's not a good guy. And then you read this book, and you find out he is the best guy. I can't... He's probably better than Acheron. Like, I say this, and it hurts. But I will say, in Acheron's, you know, for what Acheron did, Styx didn't deserve it. And I think Acheron was a dick through most of that. And ultimately, it gets better, but I was pissed off through most of this book. So I want to say, I think it's like 700 or so pages. Yeah, it's like 700 or so pages. Like, I'll say like up to here. This is all the past. Like, 11,000 years ago when they were first born and everything. Because they're, like, it's hard to say, but they're immortal. So, like, this is all just the past. That's how much you get of just the present day and what they're going through now. oh my god, it's just really, really hard to get through. It took me pretty much all month to get through it because it was just hard. I loved it. I loved every moment of it, but it was a struggle to stop crying to get through more. So like I would read, you know, the first, like, let's say 20 pages, and I would already be crying so hard it's not even funny. And then I would put it down, I'd pick up the next 20 pages, and I would still have a hard time. I was thinking about listening to it on audiobook, but I was like, I can't do that because, like, it's just, I should have probably, so that way I could listen to more of it, but I just needed to take it all in. It hurt a lot. This book pretty much broke me. And I'm glad that for the most part in March, I was stuck inside my house, so that way I didn't go outside and, you know, cry my eyes out with this book and embarrass myself completely. But if you haven't picked up the Dark Hunter series, or if you have and you pretty much, I don't know, like got to a certain point and stopped, or for some reason you haven't gotten on to 6 yet because of the size, I would say, yeah, the size it's a behemoth, but it's worth it. Oh my god. Styx touched my heart, and he's like gripping it and he's not letting go. Like, I love Styx so much. And it's funny because a character as well in Acheron that you thought was good, and you thought this person was a really good person that didn't deserve some things, then you read this book and you're like, oh, that bitch can choke. Hate her. So, yeah. Oh my god. And it sucks because I don't really have anybody to talk about the series with, because I do have my best friend who was reading them. She stopped at like book 8. I can't even tell you what book this is. 22. I remember. This is 22. This one was a struggle, but it was so good and so worth it. So worth it. Oh man, I can't even say much. The ending was perfection. I loved it. Like the last like 100 or so pages were just the best thing of this book. But I'm telling you, Sherilyn Kenyon knows how to write a tragic backstory like no other. That one can just kill you with tragic backstories. I swear, every single one of her characters has some sort of, or not every, but every single one of her like main characters of each book has some sort of tragic backstory. And you're just like, how do you do that? How do you write a different backstory? Like, it's not ultimately different, but it's like tweaked in a way that's just perfect for them. And it, like, you know, just works for them. And I'm just like, how do you write all these tragic backstories? And you get me every time. Like, I should be ready for this. I'm not. I'm never prepared going into a Sherilyn Kenyon book. But yeah, here we are. This was 5 stars. This is the best book I read all month. I loved it. I loved it. I'm reading more books in the series. Like, I try to read 1 a month. I think for April I'm reading 2, maybe 3, but really 2. Like, I think I'm nearing the catch-up point, which is great. But there's another behemoth, and it's Stygian. And I want to say that's like, I have like 4 or 5 more books till I get to that. And the other ones are small. Stygian, Acheron, Styx, and Stygian are all behemoths. They're all in like close to 1,000 pages or over 1,000 pages. But I'm really intrigued by Stygian because it comes up in here. So I want to know what Stygian really is. But yeah. That's it for me today, guys. This was 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. That was the books that I read for March. April, I'm already over 8 books. I can tell you April is a much better month. It's the Owl's Magical Readathon month, as well as it's just, I'm making this crazy idea for like the last half of April to just read a book a day. Like, yeah, read a book a day. You're not doing anything else. You're not, you know, working or anything. You're stuck at home. Read a book a day. I'm managing it for the last few days, so we're getting through it. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again with another. Bye! Happy reading.